Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Chapter 5 is called the Karma Yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness. It has a total of 29 verses. Not very big chapter. So just to give you a context, in chapter 1, Arjuna's doubts, Arjuna's confusion was explained. Chapter 2, Arjuna surrenders to Krishna, and Krishna explains the entire Bhagavad Gita in too quickly, for which Arjuna is confused. And he asks Krishna that you're talking about renunciation also, but action also. So should I renounce or should I act? So therefore, Krishna speaks the third chapter. In the third chapter, Karma Yoga is explained, and Krishna says how better to act in this world if we are not mature enough to renounce, but act according to the scriptural injunctions. Don't act independently. And towards the end, he says of the third chapter, he talks about how it is because of enjoying mentality epitomized by Ravana. It is because of enjoying mentality that one acts independently. He doesn't want to surrender to God. He says, who is God? I am God. All this because of enjoying mentality called as lust, kama. Kama esha krodha esha rajoguna samadbhavaha mahashano mahapapa vidyenam iha vairinam. The most formidable enemy is called as lust, Arjuna. And that is the reason for lust and anger rising out of mode of passion. And because of which the living entity in this world is tormented. And he says, how do you overcome lust? By development of spiritual knowledge. He gives other tips also. Tasmatam indriyani adav niyamya bharatrishabha. Whenever there is, if one wants to overcome lust, immediately the senses have to be controlled. That's step one. At the same time, we should also cultivate spiritual knowledge. And therefore, fourth chapter is all about that spiritual knowledge, which we spent, I think, about 6 months. The fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita talks about transcendental knowledge. Why is it transcendental? Because this knowledge is completely about Krishna. Knowledge about ourselves is not transcendental, isn't it? We also have lived childhood, teenage, adulthood, but no one glorifies it except our parents. Whereas Krishna's glories from childhood, his teenage, his adulthood, his marriage, his activities, everything is glorified throughout the scriptures, and therefore he's called as the most famous, is one of his opulences, because everyone talks about it. Whereas our activities, no one talks about it. And therefore, anything to do with Krishna is absolute. And Krishna says in 4.10 that if you get to know about me, my knowledge, and how my birth and activities are transcendent, in 4.9 and 4.10 he says, then you cultivate spiritual knowledge. This knowledge is so potent, it can purify our heart from selfish mentality. Selfishness can be transformed into selflessness. Lust can be transformed into love. Narrow mindedness can be transformed into abundant mentality or broad mindedness. Only thinking about oneself to thinking about everyone. So, therefore, Krishna gives this transcendental knowledge. It's absolute. And anything to do with Krishna is absolute. Not just Krishna's, basically, any pastime, whatever Krishna has performed, everything is auspicious. Therefore, Krishna steals butter, it's called as Makanchor. We glorify. Usually, chore is not a very nice word, right? If I say, hey, chore, you will feel happy or sad, isn't it? I mean, you will hope that no one called me, it was someone else. Because chore is not a very nice word. Chore means thief. But Krishna is glorified as Makanchor. Similarly, when Krishna ran away from the battle, from Jarasandha, that time he is called as Ranchor. Generally, if a Kshatriya runs away, actually in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna's one argument for Arjuna to fight is Arjuna, stay in this battlefield because if you turn away and not fight, you will be called as a coward. What is it? Anarya Jushtamasvargyam Akirtikaram Arjuna. In 2.2, Krishna says, if you turn away from battlefield, you will lose all fame. You will lose your destination in heavenly planets, and everyone will call you a coward. And you being Kshatriya blooded, hot blooded, you will not be able to tolerate this. You might even kill yourself. Krishna is telling Arjuna not to run away from the battle, but he himself ran away from the battle, isn't it? So therefore, he is called as Ranchor, but he is glorified as Ranchor. So in this way, any knowledge about Krishna is called as spiritual knowledge, and that knowledge is absolute. There is no good and bad; it's just perfect. And that was what fourth chapter is all about. And some sections of fourth chapter, Krishna also talked about karma, the three types of karma: akarma, vikarma, sakarma. Sakarma and vikarma, good karma, bad karma, doing good to others, doing bad to others, whatever it is, you still stay in this material world. Akarma means doing karma for Krishna. Like Arjuna fighting, it is for Krishna. Personally, he didn't want to fight, but he fought for Krishna. Therefore, it is akarma. Mm. So, such akarma can help one go from this material world to spiritual world. But good karma or bad karma keeps one locked up in this prison of the material world. And then, what are the concepts? The concept of yagya was discussed, living a life of sacrifice. And living a life of sacrifice means it should be first of all under the guidance of the Vedic scriptures. And living a life of sacrifice means the word sacrifice in Sanskrit is yagya. Mm. And yagya, usually when we say yagya, what comes to mind is some area of land where there is ghee and grains being put into. That is not itself yagya. Krishna talks about the principle of yagya, and he says, whatever position you might be in varnashrama, that means whether you're a student, you're a office going working person, you are a housewife, you are whatever it may be, brahmachari, grahastha, vanprastha, sannyas, everyone has to perform yajna. And later in 18th chapter, Krishna also says, uh, yagya dana tapa, yagya dana tapaschaiva, something maheshinaha. Basically, he says, even the greatest of the greatest people can never give up. Even if you say, I'm a pure devotee, still you can never give up yagya dana tapa. Sacrifice, charity, and austerity. No one can give it up. So he glorifies yajna like that, and he gives different kinds of yajna. Mm. And then he talks about jnana. When we perform yajna, what happens? Our heart becomes purified. That is the time you can understand jnana, knowledge. Not like C++ or Python. Anyone can do it. Before medical background, but money is in computer science field. The switch. It won't happen like that. Spiritual knowledge, there is a process. So yajna is also a process, sacrifice there. So that leads to purification of heart, and when the heart is purified, the spiritual knowledge makes sense. You tell a materialist or an atheist, tell Richard Dawkins, my sir, God exists. He catches his head and he says that I cannot see how God exists. Like Prahlad and Hiranyakashipu. Prahlad said, I can see God everywhere. Hiranyakashipu said, I cannot see God anywhere. And they both are seeing the same surroundings. How is it possible? It is because one is purified in his senses, one is not. So, therefore, the qualification for attaining spiritual knowledge is pure heart, which is attained by performing yajna, living a life of sacrifice. And benefits of knowledge also we discussed as we came to the end of the fourth chapter. And final section of what we discussed last time was importance of, to those of you who were present last time, what did we discuss? Importance of, yeah, very good, faith. Importance of faith in Krishna consciousness. Faith is the basis. Without faith, there's no use. Even if we take Mahaprasad of the Lord, coming from directly from the Lord's plate, if we do not have faith that this is Mahaprasad, remnants of the Supreme Lord, it will benefit us spiritually. And if you take it without faith, it will have no effect. Sri Prabhupada gives this example that traditionally doctors would have sugar pills, but of different colors. And he would have a red bottle, blue bottle, green bottle, and so on and so forth. And if someone says, I have cough, then he would give blue bottle. If someone says I have headache, he would give red bottle. A stomach pain, green bottle. But they're all the same medicine. It's a sugar coated pill. There's no actual medicine. But then because they take with faith, they actually get cured of their disease. You see? This is the role of faith. So similarly, how much more faith is required in spiritual life? So the entire last section of the fourth chapter, Krishna talks about faith. And he says, for those people who have no faith, they have no good destination. Because in this world, even to survive, we need faith, isn't it? Many of us who have come from India, we have come with faith, right? We have faith that we will get job. We will, some there is success for us, though there is job market crash, whatever it may be, but something will work out for us. We have faith. Even to put a step ahead, we need faith. To even to sleep, with faith. Can anyone say how? Even to sleep. Yeah. Yeah, God knows if you'll wake up. But we know we'll wake up. Even if we don't wake up, a friend might wake you up. But for some people, it might be their last. But we have faith. So without faith, we cannot function. So is faith scientific? No? Yes? No? What is it? No. How many of you say no? Faith is not scientific. Okay. How many of you say faith is scientific? Okay. How many of you know what does scientific mean? Yeah. Okay. What does scientific mean?
Moving by like science actual people who studied a lot, like maybe the ones who define the world based on some scientific studies. So
Okay. How do you define something scientific? Yeah.
logic based,
Is logic based? I mean,
logic,
I just give you
reasoning and
logic for why
observation.
faith exists. So it's scientific.
Logic, reasoning and observations has something substantial
Okay,
basis.
logic, reason, and observations. In all these three faiths, faith satisfies all the three conditions. So according to you, faith is scientific. Okay.
And I'm curious listening to it.
Okay. Yeah. Some you were saying
Yes, something which can be repeated.
how it can be repeated. Yeah, we all can have faith.
Okay.
We all can have faith.
Okay.
Yeah, faith we all have. So it's repeated.
Like in
So it's
different.
scientific. Okay, you're on the side of side. Faith is scientific.
Something that has facts is scientific.
Facts. What do you mean fact?
That has a proven theory on certain assumptions being made.
Yeah.
Assumptions are not facts, but science is based upon assumptions.
So is science scientific? Okay, scientific means first you observe and make theory, then you experiment and get the result, which suffices the theory, and then you can repeat the theory. Three steps. Anywhere these three steps are satisfied is scientific. So when you make first you observe and make a theory. That means you can say without faith, as we were speaking, you cannot function in this world, isn't it? I gave you different examples of doctors, medicine, and how you cannot without faith you cannot even put a step forward. And second is now you experiment with yourself. Definitely, we are living based on faith. That's easy. And then you can repeat it, isn't it? So this actually means it is scientific. Actually, nowadays people don't know what scientific is, isn't it? So in this way, Krishna talks about importance of faith towards the end because the whole thing is spoiled without faith. Our existence is a factor of faith. Without faith, there is no existence. And we have spoken enough last time, faith. So now in the fifth chapter is Karma Yoga, Action, and Krishna Consciousness. I'll give you the link between chapter 4 and chapter 5. Just a minute.
I have a question.
Yeah. Yes.
So, what is, how can we distinguish between hope and faith? For example, faith is something I guess is much more firmer. For
Hmm.
example, I feel I did not have any faith while coming over that I'll get a job, but I had a hope that I'll get a job. There is a bit of distinction between when you have faith, it's based upon maybe your credentials and something that you feel you get something, and there is
I
something in
think
hope.
based on faith, the desires you might have is like a hope. I mean, in English, Sanskrit is something more. It has some difference. Usually, English is very many things are used synonymously, isn't it? Very difficult to make out. But usually, when we say hope, like one of the example I was giving, I was thinking in my mind to use the word hope. So I don't know exactly. Yeah, faith and hope. I don't know. It's the same thing. Hmm? And there might be some difference, but no, I don't think it's anything relevant to us. Yeah. Or it might be so negligible, it doesn't matter. Okay. So in the previous chapter, Krishna spoke of attaining peace by jnana in 439 and renouncing karma by jnana. Now, how the fifth chapter begins, we will see. But again asked Arjuna to take up karma yoga. So towards the end of fourth chapter, Krishna spoke about the importance of developing spiritual knowledge, jnana. And now later on, finally, he concluded the chapter by saying, "So Arjuna, you should fight." Ending, he's saying, "So you should develop knowledge," and finally ended the chapter by saying, "Therefore, you should pick up your weapon and fight." So again, Arjuna got confused. Krishna is saying two things because for Arjuna, he's not able to reconcile. For him, if you're gaining knowledge, means you should not fight. If you fight, means you should not gain knowledge. It's like black and white. Yeah. See, Arjuna found it impossible to perform both renunciation of work, karma sannyas, in knowledge, jnana, and working with detachment, karma yoga, simultaneously. In this chapter, Arjuna asks Krishna about the above contradiction, and Krishna explains how renunciation and work are not opposite but could be integrated. Hmm. So in this chapter, what is Krishna explaining? How renunciation and work can be integrated. They're not two different things. Krishna will explain the process of achieving liberation through karma yoga. Okay, and we'll go to text one. Arjuna uvacha sannyasam karmanam Krishna punaryogam cha shamsasi yashreyaetayorekam tanme bruhi sunishchitam. Can one of you read?
Arjuna said, "O Krishna, first of all, you
Yeah.
ask me to renounce work." Arjuna said, "O Krishna, first of all, you ask me to renounce work, and then again you recommend work with devotion. Now, will you kindly tell me definitely which of the two is more beneficial?"
Hmm. Okay. So Prabhupada is also giving context. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Sannyasa Karma Yogascha Nishreyasa Karavubhau Tayostu Karma Sannyasa Karma Yogo Vishishyate. Yeah. You want to read?
The personality of Godhead replied, "The renunciation of work and work in devotion are both good for liberation. But of the two, work in devotional service is better than renunciation of work."
So Krishna is saying, of the two, karma and jnana or renunciation, which is better? Karma is better, but not when Krishna talks about karma here. He is talking about karma yoga. So what does the word yoga mean? Anyone knows what does yoga mean? Hmm? Yes, to connect with divinity. So karma yoga means that work through which you can connect to Krishna. So that work is preferred over simply renouncing activity, isn't it? Okay, we'll just question. Okay. Karma yoga is a karma only, right? Yeah. Correct. Yeah, can you read? Continue. Popo.
Fruitive activities seeking sense gratification are cause for material bondage. As long as one is engaged in activities aimed at improving the standard of bodily comfort, one is sure to transmigrate to different types of bodies, thereby continuing material bondage perpetually.
Yeah, he talks about Bhagavatam quotation where Rishabdev is explaining to his sons, 100 sons, about how going after sense gratification is the cause of bondage in this world. Hmm. What is the meaning of bondage?
Attachments.
Okay, attachment. Good. Anything else? What do you mean by bondage?
Limit,
Okay. Sorry?
limiting,
Sorry? What is it? Limit. Okay. Bondage. Hmm. I won't say what I heard. I heard women. Yeah, really. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Shackles. Okay. So, yeah. Trust. Okay. Uh, Bondage. How is bondage trust? Oh, you're talking about bond. Yeah, bonds of love, not that bond. This bondage, yeah, this is similar bondage, but with the material world. Yeah, you trust the material world. So, material world in the scripture is compared to the word used is Durg, no Durga. So, Durga is the Adipati of the material world. What does Durga mean? Durg means what? Fortress. Yeah, fortress. So, Durg means fortress. So, therefore, the material world is compared to a prison house. And the person in charge of this prison cell is Durga. And what is she doing? She has the Trishul and she is inflicting suffering onto all the living entities in this world. And those three, the suffering she's inflicting is called as klesha, or miseries. What are the three types of klesha? Seniors? Yeah, yeah. Yes, correct. You're right. Correct. Adi Daivic, Adi Bhautik, Adhyatmik. That means misery is caused due to nature, natural disturbances, misery is caused due to one's own body and mind, misery is caused due to other living entities, not just people. All of them are called as kleshas. So, in the material world, you will find that people are looking for happiness, but unfortunately, they don't get happiness. They get everything but happiness, isn't it? So, therefore, Krishna says, not Krishna, sorry, Prahlad Maharaj says, if you want happiness in this world, there's only one way. Stop looking for happiness in this world. Only then you can be happy. To the degree we have faith in this world and we are looking for happiness, to that degree we'll be frustrated with disappointments. Mhm. And therefore, in the 16th chapter of Gita, Krishna says, Asha Pasha Shater Baddha. A characteristic of of an asura is that he has unflinching hope in this material world. He has hope against hope that I will get something out of it. And Krishna calls it to be a characteristic of the demoniac, the Sura, to be very hopeful in the material world. Yeah, 16th chapter he says. Why? Because according to Krishna, this material world is dukkhalem ashashvatam. So when we don't perform akarma, we are immediately bound in this world. And as soon as you are bound, immediately there's suffering. If one is put into ocean, what do you expect? Yeah, water. You cannot be dry. You'll be wet always. If you are put in Antarctica, don't expect summer, isn't it? Or if you are put in Florida, don't expect winter. So wherever Krishna Prabhupada says, if you are put in a dangerous position, he says danger must be there because you have put yourself in a dangerous position. He writes in the purpose to Gajendra Moksha. Danger must be there because you have put yourself in a dangerous position, isn't it? That means who is to be blamed to be staying in the material world? Ourselves. That means someone's one great person has said, life is a journey between from the letters B and D. The journey from B to D. B for birth, D for death. And in between lies C. C for choice. Very poetic, but very profound. That means life is a set of choices. And if we don't make the right choice, naturally we are to be blamed. Some people say God doesn't exist because I'm suffering. You know this nice story. Once a man went to the barber, and the barber was an atheist, so he was complaining, God doesn't exist, and blah blah blah. And the person said, "Why do you think so?" He said, "If God exists, how would there be so many beggars begging outside my saloon? The very fact that these beggars are begging, that means God is not there to provide." That's what he said. And the man didn't want to argue, so he had his haircut and he paid some Lakshmi and went. And finally, as soon as he stepped out of the saloon, he saw a man with a long beard was walking. And then he went inside quickly and told the barber, "Do you know what? Actually, barbers don't exist." He said, "What do you mean barbers don't exist? I myself am a barber." He said, "If barbers did exist, how would there be men walking with long beard? Isn't it? If barbers did exist, then there should be no men walking with long beard." So then he gave a wonderful conclusion. He said, "It's not that barbers don't exist, but the people don't go to the barber. Similarly, it's not that God doesn't exist, but people don't go to God, and therefore they're suffering in this world." Beautiful, isn't it? So similarly, it's our choice whether we have to whether we suffer or enjoy. But one can say, "I've done good throughout my life, still I'm suffering." Why is it?
Karma.
Past karma, isn't it? Say a neighbor is blasting disco music at midnight. Some of you might like it, but some may not, who sleep early. You may not like loud sounds at night. So now, who is at fault? Why are you suffering? Huh? Okay. Okay. Your karma. Very difficult when you're in the situation to think like that. But it's true. That is also karma. And the people who give us suffering are instruments of karma. Very difficult to apply, but this is a theory. That means suffering is existing in this world by our own actions, Krishna says. So therefore, choose wisely. And to choose wisely, the component given to us is intelligence, Viveka Buddhi. So by attending these Gita classes, what are we doing? We are sharpening the intelligence. Like you sharpen the sword or a knife, we are sharpening our intelligence. People who are dull like animals, they don't know what is what. You can line up goats outside the slaughterhouse, and one by one the goat is going inside the slaughterhouse and being killed. But other goats are happy eating the fresh green grass. But say we are all lined up outside the slaughterhouse, and we are all standing, and we have been given iPads and job offers and degrees. But only problem is everyone is one by one. People are going inside and being killed, slaughtered by the butcher. How many of you will stay in the line? No, but you have job offer. No, none of us would, isn't it? Anyone with intelligence wouldn't, or anyone with less intelligence they might. So this is the function of intelligence. Intelligence means we choose between right and wrong. So people with less intelligence, as dull as animals, what happens? They live like animals. For them, they are living like a deluxe edition of animals. Only they wear suit, boot, tie, but there is no other difference. And therefore, Krishna says, not Krishna, in Mahabharata it is said, Ahara nidra bhayamaitunam cha samanya metat pashubi naranam dharmo hitesham adhiko vishesho dharmena hina pashubi samana. Only one component that differentiates us from animals is dharma. Sorry? Okay, very good. Yeah, dharma. And that dharma is to inquire about God. We don't do that, then immediately we will choose material life. And in material life, there is suffering, isn't it? But if you choose Krishna, you go to spiritual world. In the spiritual world, no competition, no cutthroat competition, no interviews, no exams. Everyone is friendly. Water is as sweet as nectar. Everyone dances for walking. They all sing for speaking. Such a beautiful world. There's no envy. There's no inferiority complex, superiority complex. Yeah, no birth, no death, no disease, no old age. So that is where we belong, the spirit soul. But unfortunately, we're in the material world because of our own choice to enjoy separately from God. So therefore, in this purport, Srila Prabhupada is explaining the cause of bondage is our wrong choices, and human form of life is an opportunity to choose the right. Hmm? See, only then can one have the opportunity to get out of bondage of material existence by serving God. Okay. ज्ञेय स नित्य सन्यासी यो न द्वेष्टि न कांक्षति निर्द्वंदो हि महाबाहो सुखबन्धात् प्रमुच्यते.
One who neither hates nor desires the fruits of his activities is known to be always renounced. Such a person, free from all dualities, easily overcomes material bondage and is completely liberated. O mighty armed Arjuna.
You might have to switch it off after you see this. Yeah, one who neither hates nor desires the fruit of activities always not to be renounced. So, what does renunciation mean?
You don't have to be attached to the fruits or the results that might be coming out of the action you take.
Yeah, one who is detached from fruits of his action, who is more duty bound. That's only possible when we are attached to Krishna. Otherwise, karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu is not easy. To be not fruitive is very difficult. Why? Because it's very deep rooted within us. And to the degree we are expecting from the material world, we are attached to the fruits, to that degree we suffer. Okay. So I'll just complete more verses and then we can discuss. Sankhya Yogau Pritak Balaha Pravadhanti na Panditaha Ekam Apyastitah Samyag Ubhayor Vindate Phalam. Yeah.
Only the ignorant speak of devotional service, karma yoga, as being different from the analytical study of the material world, Sankhya. Those who are actually learned say that he who applies himself well to one of these paths achieves the results of both.
He's basic Krishna is saying it's the same thing. Jnana yoga or karma yoga ultimately the same. Why? Because they are the rungs of the same ladder. Isn't it? If you take a ladder, you have different rungs. Now someone might think, okay, let me jump to the 100th rung of the ladder. Very difficult, isn't it? Instead of jumping the 100th rung, what do? Take the first step. But one may think, I'm very advanced, I cannot do this. Let me renounce directly. Krishna is saying, Are Baba, it's the same thing. 100th or first one, you will anyway reach the goal. Because same yoga ladder. So we have to do according to our capacity. And how can we recognize our capacity? Anyone knows? We have to do things according to our capacity. But how do we know our capacity?
Talk to our guru.
Hmm?
Talk
Talk
to our
to your guru.
for guidance.
Yeah, very good. Guru recognizes the capacity. Hmm? Some otherwise one can say I'm always here only, and they like one Prabhu in India was saying he was preaching to the doctors, medical college, and he said one person was very difficult to preach to convince him to chant Hare Krishna and everything. And after 1 year of programs and everything, he asked how much is your chanting, and he said, Prabhu, today I finished 16, because generally we chant 16 rounds daily, 2 hours. So he said, Prabhu, today I finished 16, and Prabhu became very elated. He said, 16? Wow, how what is the reason behind a progress? He said, not 16 rounds, 16 Mahamantra. But of course, to now he's a initiated devotee and very serious and everything. But back then, some people are very slow to pick up. Hmm. But according to Vedas, if you're picking up, that's not a problem. But only stagnant water stinks. To stay on the same level, that is not good. You can choose your speed, but one has to make progress, keep making the progress. But Guru can tell us where we can start from. Sometimes for us to jump to the 50th rung is easy, then one should do it. One should not say first rung. or for some people it's not very difficult, well, it's not very easy to climb the higher rung, then we should start at basic level. So therefore you have different yoga systems. So Krishna says don't get confused between renunciation, karma yoga and jnana yoga. They are the rungs of the same ladder. But what should be in the mind? Somehow or the other have to make progress. Wherever we are, try to make progress. Today we are not chanting anything. How many of you are chanting like regularly here? Okay. So some of you are not chanting regularly. So then what we can do, okay, if you're not chanting anything, at least you can start with 10 minutes. Isn't it? 10 minutes if you chant daily. Actually, when to understand fifth chapter of Gita, you should be chanting. That's yagya. Yagya nam japa yajñosmi, Krishna says. Japa yagya. So by performing this japa yajna, our purification of heart happens and we can understand this more deeply. Otherwise, we'll be thinking when this fellow will stop and I can take prasad. Because nothing is going inside. Isn't it? So therefore, we should be chanting. So if you're not chanting anything, we can start with 10 minutes and commit to it. And if you're doing 10 minutes, then you go for 20 minutes. If you're doing 20 minutes, then 30 minutes. If you're doing 30 minutes, 45 minutes. If you're doing 45, 1 hour. So in this way, one should be progressing. Without progress, that is called as bondage. So therefore, we will see that Srila Prabhupada has taken this crushed jewel of all knowledge. Krishna calls this Bhakti Yoga, what we are teaching, as Raja Vidyam. Raja Vidyam means the king of all kinds of knowledge. Hmm? Yes, king of all knowledge. It's not artificial intelligence, deep learning, neural networks. Even above that, it's not medical science. It's not law. you know, Krishna says beyond all this knowledge is Bhakti Yoga, Bhakti to Krishna. And in sixth chapter, Krishna says, once you know this knowledge, Arjuna, you don't have to know anything. So, Srila Prabhupada, he tried to share this knowledge with the Indians for 40 years. And all Indians were affected by one virus called as Ino virus. Ever heard of it? Ino virus?
Yep.
Yeah, some of us might have it also. Ino virus. So because many were affected with Ino virus, 40 years, Sri Prabhupada tried and tried. There was some hope in Jhansi, but that also broke. And Indians were so difficult to convince to, study the Bhagavad Gita, to take to Krishna consciousness. Then in 1965, after 40 years of struggle, then he came to the West. And then even first year in the West was a great difficulty. Someone tried to attack Sri Prabhupada, or he did not have enough finance. He came with 40 rupees and I think potato and cereal or something. That's all. Faced 2 heart attacks or 3 heart attacks in the Jaladuta ship. And regularly he would go to the dock and check about the ships going back to India. But he would only look at it and come back. Because his guru had instructed him, share this knowledge with the whole world. So he came here and he is giving the crushed jewel of all knowledge, so easily attainable. Years or say before Sri Prabhupada spread this knowledge, to study Bhagavad Gita is not very common. If you want to study Gita, then you have to really admit yourself into Gurukul, isn't it? But today, no need of Gurukul, just like that. We're getting priceless knowledge, but only how much we sell for? $5, Gita? Was actually priceless. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada gave it to the whole world so that we can actually make progress. So despite all the facilities, all the opportunities, and being Indians, we also have the cultural benefit because Krishna is not new to us. We also have that. And we also have heard a lot of devotional songs and everything, so we can easily connect. So given all this opportunity, if we miss out making progress, then shame. There are 3 words used: fortunate, unfortunate, and most unfortunate. Fortunate are those who pick up there's an opportunity, they pick it up for spiritual progress. And then unfortunate are those for whom there's no opportunity. Poor fellows, they never got the opportunity. Most unfortunate are those who have all the resources, but still they don't take advantage. Isn't it? So therefore, Srila Prabhupada has done everything from his side. Now there are over 600 million copies of the Gita spread, distributed throughout the world, and another millions of Gitas being printed to be again distributed. So we are distributing. Many of us even have the books, but we don't read and make progress. Then it's of no use. So Krishna also, when speaking to Arjuna, Krishna he gives all yoga ladders. Some way or the other, attach yourself to Krishna. If Krishna says in 12th chapter, if always thinking about Krishna is very difficult, at least get to know about him. If to get to know about him is very difficult, okay, work and give some donation for him. Something he gives like that 5 levels. So it is made very easy. There are different rungs of the ladder, but wherever we are, if we can attach and make progress, however, gradually, but it has to be made. That's what Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad Gita. We'll go next one. Okay. Yat sankhye prapyate sthanam tadyogairapi gamyate ekam sankyam cha yogam cha yap pashyati sa pashyati. You want to give someone else to read also?
Oh, yeah.
Is it on?
Yeah.
One who knows that the position reached by means of analytical studies can also be attained by devotional services, and who therefore see analytical study and devotional service to be on the same level, sees things as they are.
Yeah. So same thing. So basically, Krishna is again speaking the same point that they lead to the same goal, Arjuna. So do what is practical to you, like that he's saying. Yeah. They both take you to the ultimate goal of life. Sanyasastu mahabaho dukkhamaptum yogataha yoga yukto munir brahma nachirena adhigacchati.
Merely renouncing all activities yet not engaging in the devotional service of Lord cannot make one happy, but a thoughtful person engaged in devotional service can achieve the supreme without delay.
Yeah. So what is sanyasastu mahabaho dukkhamaptum ayogataha? See, sannyasa means generally we associate with renunciation, right? Sannyasa tu, but dukkhamaptum ayogataha. That means through sannyas one will not achieve happiness. When ayogataha means, he doesn't connect his renunciation to Krishna. That means whatever we do, who is a devotee of Krishna, whatever he does, it is for Krishna. He is a devotee. If you want to renounce something, it is because it's not good for my Krishna consciousness. If you accept something because it is good for my Krishna consciousness, that is Vaishnava. So Krishna is saying, even if someone renounces the whole world, but he is not connecting himself to Krishna, then it is dukkhamaptum. You are only going to get dukkha. Like one senior brahmachari in India, he was traveling in a train, and he was chanting, and he was in saffron. So some people sitting, in opposite, what do you say, berth. So they were commenting, look at this poor fellow, renounced the whole family, left his property, and this and that, and so many things. And then this Prabhu stopped chanting, and he said, you are saying I have renounced property and family and this and that, but actually you guys are bigger renunciants than me. They said, how? You are wearing saffron, we are not saffron, you are shaven headed, we still have hair. And this person said, it is because I only renounced small things of this world, property and everything, but you have renounced Krishna only. Isn't it? So therefore you are real renunciant. So that type of renunciation is not renunciation. Renunciation means you renounce things which are an obstacle for spiritual progress. That's what renunciation is. And a devotee doesn't unnecessarily renounce. The path of bhakti yoga is not a path of blind renunciation. Because a devotee, when he sees this world, he sees that everything is belonging to Krishna. Whether it be the any kind of material energy, the phone, laptop, anything is belonging to Krishna. So a devotee, when he sees that it belongs to Krishna, he learns to connect it to Krishna. He uses it to serve Krishna. So renunciation means what? Not renunciation of objects of this world. Renunciation of the false mentality that it belongs to me. That is real renunciation. So therefore, Krishna, when he instructs Arjuna on renunciation, did Arjuna give up everything and take saffron? No. What is real renunciation? The money in my pocket belongs to Krishna, isn't it? Property in my name should not be in my name, should be in Krishna's name. Isn't it? This is real renunciation. The false mentality that I am the owner. So therefore, sannyasasthu mahabaho dukkam aptum ayogatah, but yoga yukto munir brahma nachchirenadhigachyati. You read the translation, right? Okay. But then Krishna says, but a thoughtful person engaged in devotional service can achieve the supreme without delay. Yeah. See, many of the concepts I'm not spending a lot of time because all these concepts are covered in the previous chapters. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma vijitatma jitendriyaha sarvabhutatma bhutatma kurvannapi na lipyate.
One who works in devotion, who is a pure soul, and who controls his mind and senses, is dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. Though always working, such a man is never entangled.
So one who is Krishna conscious, his symptoms are given here. See, one who works in devotion means devotion to whom? Yeah, that's understood, right? One who works in devotion to Krishna, such a person is said to be a very great person. Pure soul means a very exalted person. And one symptom of a Vaishnava is he controls his mind and senses. How do you control your senses? Okay, what?
Don't do what your mind is telling you to do.
How do you control your senses? Leave the mind now.
By engaging the senses in Krishna service.
By engaging senses in Krishna service. Things related to Krishna. Things unrelated to Krishna, you have to withdraw the senses. And how do you control the mind? Through intelligence. Okay. Anything else?
Engaging the mind in Krishna.
It's not that easy. Engaging the mind in Krishna. So meditation, good. By chanting Hare Krishna, purify the mind. And what else? How can you control the mind? Yeah, practice of what? That's a question. Krishna consciousness is the answer to all questions. Yes.
By being with like-minded people.
By being with like-minded people, okay. Yeah, it's correct to some degree. Huh? Chanting, okay. Still something, still more.
Thinking about Krishna.
Now, yeah, that's a good answer, but it's very difficult to apply. Think about Krishna. To engage ourselves, engage means senses.
Engage whole day in such a way that there is no space left.
For Maya, then you have to take saffron and shave your head and come join me. Huh? Satsang, okay. Much more. Something more.
To shift our desires from material world to Krishna.
Okay, desiring for Krishna. Okay, good. More.
Offer whatever you do to Krishna.
Of whatever you do. Sure. Many things we do are not offerable to Krishna.
I feel everything that we do is because of him itself. Like we are bound to certain karma from the past. Even if we are doing something bad, it's meant to happen.
Even if we are doing bad, it's meant to happen.
Yes,
If I smoke, it's Krishna's fault.
it's maybe I would have to get lung cancer at certain age from past life.
If you get lung cancer without smoking.
Yeah.
Putting Krishna as center of your life.
Oh, you're putting Krishna as center of your life. Good.
Controlling fear, anger, lust, greed.
Controlling them.
No, like giving up.
Giving up.
Yeah, I mean controlling your anger, not having fear, not having lust. Like lust
I
will
know.
corrupt your mind.
Okay, to control the mind by doing this. Okay. Thank you. Huh?
Just tell us.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Give up? Okay. So to control the mind, the most important thing is to follow a guru. That's the only way to control the mind.
So
If one without guru, one can be chanting whole day, but he is doing by the whims of his mind. Sometimes mind will say chant, sometimes mind will say don't chant. When mind says chant, whole day beat bag. When mind says don't chant, one round also very difficult, isn't it? So it's easy for people will say, Prabhu, I went for Dham Yatra. One 2 months I was in India only visiting all the dham. So my question is, who told you to go? Isn't it? Who told him to go to Dham Yatra? Mind, isn't it? So mind says not a big thing, isn't it? So because mind, Krishna Arjuna explains to be chanchalam. Your question?
so basically, from what I've heard, it's the ego that fought the lose, which is, I think, somehow connected to the mind, and it's the guru who helps you lose that, and that's how.
Yeah, we have to lose false ego. We cannot lose ego.
Yeah.
We have to, we have to transform the ego to true ego. Correct. And therefore, the mind is very subtle. And people in this world are working hard day and night. It is because of the mind. We have accepted a guru, but it is the mind. Well, now you have to take another guru's instruction, isn't it? So therefore, to control mind, if we do under guidance, when we ask, Prabhu, I want to please Krishna. Like some people, they feel that I am in great love affair, like Rukmini with Krishna. I am also with Krishna. So when they are walking in India, you will see they give flying kiss to Krishna, isn't it? So they feel this is a way to express devotion. But if we want to express devotion, Krishna also has expectation. If you are a devotee, how to behave? Man mana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Krishna says, Man mana bhava mad bhakto. That means, think of me. Madhyaji, worship me. Mam namaskuru means offer obeisances unto me. When you go to temple, sometimes new people, when everyone offers obeisances, they're just looking around what happened to them. Why they're falling on the floor. So this is the way to please Krishna, therefore we offer obeisances. So therefore, Krishna also says, if you want to please me, these are the things you should do. Some people say we don't want any middleman. It's just me and Krishna. We don't want anyone in between. So we say yes, you study Gita directly. When they study Gita, what will they find? Questions and
They won't understand.
they won't understand. No, when they come to 4th chapter, 34th verse, Krishna says, Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashtena sevaya upadeshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshana. When they directly go to Krishna, Krishna says, go to my guru, go to my devotee. Isn't it? So people say, I don't want guru, I want Krishna directly, but you go to Krishna, Krishna says, go to my devotee. Isn't it? This is the process. So anyone who says, I want Krishna directly, I tell them, go to 434, Krishna directly. Yeah, he says, I hold my devotees above me. Correct. Yeah. Yes.
Prabhu, how do you recognize the right guru for yourself? Like, how
We did this session before. Okay, what relevant question. Um, the guru is not chosen like you choose animals in a pet shop. I have so many choices. Which guru suits me? It's not like that. Guru is actually when we become very sincere in Krishna consciousness. Krishna, who is the Paramatma in the heart, he is called as a Chaitya Guru. He is the one guiding the living entity always. For those who want to listen to him. Hmm? Paramatma is already guiding them. But then because we are not pure enough to listen to the voice of Paramatma, Chaitya Guru manifests in a tangible form, who is the living Guru. So therefore, that Guru is actually sent by the Supreme Lord. So when you are very sincere, when you're mature enough, you will find the Guru. If you want, you can read Journey Home of His Holiness Radhanath Swami. So he went across the globe and he met so many gurus, but he was never satisfied. It's only when he met Srila Prabhupada he understood. First time when he met him, he understood this is my guru. How is it? It's not emotional thing. Sometimes we feel, oh, my guru laughs nicely, so he's my guru, or he looks handsome, he should be my guru, or he's a very good. They have many external factors, but to understand, choose a guru is something more spiritual. Yeah. So when we come to when we mature in sincerity and we really want to make spiritual progress, that's when you get guru in life. Otherwise, even because there's an institution system, you can somehow get initiated, choose guru, and namesake have a guru. But real initiation, acceptance of guru is in the heart. So as many people, they are not still following. Even they might have initiated, might have a guru, but they are still not initiated. Why? Because having guru means following the instructions completely of the guru. Does that make sense? Okay. Yeah. Um, okay. So therefore, Krishna is saying here, one who works in devotion to me, he can control his senses in the mind. Why? Because he doesn't do it whimsically. Devotion to Krishna is not whimsical. It's not cheap. It's not that you go to temple once a week and you see Krishna and cry tears. It's a daily thing. Commitment. Relationship means commitment. It's not a joke. Those of you who are in a relationship of any sort with anyone, you will see if you want to maintain a relationship, you need commitment. And the true, eternal, actually substantial relationship is that with Krishna. That requires commitment. So that means a daily thing, regular thing. Therefore, he controls his mind and senses. Such a person is dear to everyone dear to him. Though always working, that devotee doesn't get entangled because he's working on behalf of me. We just have a couple of verses. I just want to do till 10th verse. Because I want to complete chapters faster now. In 6 months.
Prabhu, what will we do once we finish the Bhagavad Gita?
Okay. We will start again. नैव किञ्चित् करोमीति युक्तो मन्येत तत्त्ववित् पश्यन् शृण्वन् स्पृशन् जिघ्रन् अश्नन् गच्छन् स्वपन् श्वसन् अश्नन् गच्छन् स्वपन् श्वसन्. More we recite Sanskrit, our memory, the brain also becomes very sharp, mind becomes sharp. Pralapan visrajan grinnan unmishan nimishannapi indriyan indriyarteshu vartanta iti dharayan. Yeah.
A person in the divine consciousness, although engaged in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving about, sleeping, and breathing, always knows within himself that he actually does nothing at all, because while speaking, evacuating, receiving, or opening or closing his eyes, he always knows that only the material senses are engaged with their objects and that he is aloof from
Yeah,
them.
this is a very high stage where one is actually he has his coverings of gross and subtle body, but he is not part of them. He can easily recognize that this is not me, this body is not me. So though he is acting like a normal human being in this world, but he doesn't get affected by any kind of reactions. This also a person is called as Jivan Mukta. Jivan Mukta means he is liberated although living in this world. Such a person is Jivan Mukta. So he is doing all the activities. Seeing, hearing, touching, smelling is Gyanendriya functions. And eating, then you have evacuating, receiving, opening or closing his eyes, and these things are karmendriya. So whatever actions he performs, whatever sense object, how can he not be affected by sense object? How is he not being affected by sense object?
Because he's not
Yeah.
engaging with Krishna.
Fully absorbed.
Because he is
Not engaging with Krishna.
engaging with Krishna.
Fully
No.
absorbed in Krishna.
No, he is here. The person being talked about, he doesn't get affected by material world, though he's in the material world. So he's in fully engaged in Krishna. What does it mean? That means he's in spiritual consciousness. So in our day, like sometimes my father used to say when I was small, when you get up from the bed, get up from the right side of the bed. You should never get up from the left side of the bed. I asked him why. He said, for good luck. Isn't it? Or you should always get up from right side of the bed. Maybe something like east, west, and east is the sun is rising. I don't know what is there. But you will find in this world, we always want to have a good start, isn't it? You want to read positive quotes. You want to do positive things in the morning and then set the day. Because what consciousness you set yourself with in the morning, it affects you throughout the day. isn't it? So therefore, the recommendation in the scriptures is Brahma Muhurta. Brahma Muhurta is that, uh, yeah, Muhurta. I'm just thinking. I don't think there's an English word. So Muhurta means 48 minutes. The days count divided into Muhurtas. So Muhurta in early in the morning before sunrise, 1.5 hours before sunrise, there's a 48-minute period which is said to be most auspicious. Next time I can show you the scientific benefits of waking up in Brahma Muhurta. Today people sleep in Brahma Muhurta, isn't it? Actually, we have to be awake in Brahma Muhurta, and that is the time when even Brahma is doing his meditation. Why? Because there are subtle energies that can actually purify the mind and actually make our consciousness very divine, spiritual consciousness. So when we deal with this world in the spiritual consciousness, you're dealing with the world but not getting affected. And you will see in the 10th verse, in the next verse, which we'll conclude with, Krishna says, Padma Patrevambhasa, just like a lotus in the swampy area. It is in a swamp, unaffected by the swamp. So we are also in the swamp like material world, and we want to remain unaffected by it, isn't it? Okay, okay, last verse for three. ब्रह्मण्याधाय कर्माणि संगम त्यक्त्वा करोति यः लिप्यते न स पापेन पद्मपत्र इवाम्भसा.
One who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results onto the Supreme Lord, is unaffected by sinful action as the lotus leaf is untouched by water.
Yeah. If you're in this world, to make sin zero is not possible. There's some other sin we commit, isn't it? We become angry towards someone, or we might fight with someone, or even if you're, putting a plaster on the mouth and like James walking in this world, you don't want to create any harm. Still, you crush some germs or bacteria on the road, isn't it? Something or the other, you cannot make violence zero. Once, one Buddhist monk, he said, he told Prabhupada that you cannot be, you have to practice non-violence. How are you? Something he was challenging Prabhupada. So Prabhupada told him, he was walking with two disciples. So he said, if a man comes and he catches the hand of your women disciple, both were women disciples, and he said, if a man comes and catches the hand of a women disciple, what will you do? So now it was a check, because he cannot say, no, I will let the man do because I cannot do violence, isn't it? I cannot stop him, that's violence. So now he can either not stop him, then it's violence for the lady. If he stops him, it's violence for the man. So violence is inevitable in the situations of this world, isn't it? So therefore, a person who is not Krishna conscious is constantly being affected by this material world. Whatever action we do, there is sin. Some amount. Krishna says in the material world, wherever there is fire, there is smoke. You cannot get fire without smoke. That is the material world. Fire serves and smoke hurts. You will get both of them. Wherever you do good, there will be some bad. You do good to someone else will you will have to do bad. Isn't it? Chanakya also says, if you want to do good on a majority scale, then some small has to be sacrificed. So you can sacrifice a village for the sake of a city, city for the sake of a state, state for the sake of a country, country for the sake of humanity. Chanakya says like that. But you have to sacrifice someone. Someone will feel bad. So therefore, Krishna is saying in this verse that people who don't have spiritual consciousness, they will be affected by sin. And what to talk about, they will be affected by sin. Today, we don't even know what is right, what is wrong. In third chapter, we have already discussed people who eat food without offering to Krishna is also, Krishna says, they verily eat only sin. Yagya shishtashinas santo muchyante sarva kilvishai bunjatete agam papam. So therefore, to become sinless is very difficult. Why to become sinless? It's okay, if sinful is fine, no problem. Yeah, why should we? Why are you talking about eradicating sin?
Because reactions.
Yeah, sinful person suffers. If we are suffering, it is because of sinful reactions, isn't it? And none of us want suffering. It's because sinful reaction. So the best way to be in this world but not be affected by sin is to be like the lotus. or to deal with this world in a spiritual consciousness. So, therefore, here early in the morning, we do chanting Hare Krishna. A devotee lives like this. Daily, when he gets up, he's thinking about Krishna. So, we chant Hare Krishna. We have artis in the temple 4:30, starting 4:30. Hmm. Anyone wants to come and try out, you can come. 4:30 Aarti. Then we have chanting Aarti, and we have Bhagavatam. We discuss from the Srimad Bhagavatam. And then we have Krishna Prasad. Very good, strong, solid morning program. Then what do you think will happen in the day? Whatever we do in the day, we're dealing with Krishna, spiritual consciousness. That means throughout the day, we are remembering I should behave in such a way that is pleasing to Krishna. I should not act in a way that is displeasing to Krishna. Your friend in the colleague or friend or colleague in the office might come and hurl some insulting words to you, but you know, oh, I want to be, I want to act pleasing to Krishna. So I'll just ignore it and go away. See, that's spiritual consciousness. But if that consciousness is not there, you got up late, you rushed to the office, somehow brushed on the way, you know, and now someone is shouting at you. You will shout back. You will catch his collar. So you will engage with the material world. So therefore, Krishna says, one who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results to the Supreme Lord. Such a person is unaffected by sinful action. Whatever we do, karma yoga means act for Krishna. Whatever you like. You like to sing, sing for Krishna. You like to dance, dance for Krishna. You like to cook, cook for Krishna. You like to speak, speak for Krishna. You're a scientist, glorify Krishna through science. You're an agricultural person, okay, have a land, whatever vegetables, fruits you grow, give it to Krishna. Yad karoshi yad ashnasi yad juhosi tadasi yad tapasyasi kaunteya mat kushva tad arpanam. Krishna says, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you do in this world, however you act, just do it for my sake. That is Karma Yoga. So therefore, this chapter is called as Karma Yoga, action in Krishna consciousness. So Arjuna was told to fight, but fight for Krishna. Will he get sinful reactions?
No.
Aham tvam sarva papevi mokshishyami, Krishna says. Hmm? Yeah, Krishna said, I'll protect you from all sinful reactions. So therefore, in our life, human form of life is perfect. It is reaches its true success when we act on behalf of Krishna. You had a question?
So this is what knowledge Krishna is talking about in chapter 4.
Akarma, he talks about akarma. Now he is just telling Arjuna about renunciation and acting, but learn to act with detachment. He is basically is combining the two concepts of renunciation and acting. That's the whole thing. So we'll pause here. If maybe 1-2 minutes, if anyone has any question or anything, you can ask. And feel free. This is vedabase.io. You can. We have many of Sri Prabhupada's books here, including the Bhagavad Gita. You can feel free to go to the purport and verify if I'm speaking right or wrong. Or you can see the Prabhupada mentions much more things in much more detailed way. Many things is not very easy to understand also. And my request is, if you want to really understand the Bhagavad Gita, you have to put into practice. We don't want to become bookworms or armchair speculators. We want to become devotees. For devotees, we have to act. This, when we hear knowledge, you're engaging intelligence in Krishna Seva. But what about the mind? What about the senses? Isn't it? Senses means you have to do something for Krishna. Mind means you have to chant Hare Krishna. Meditation. So therefore, please engage your body, mind, and intelligence and soul, everything in Krishna Seva. Then you'll understand what Krishna is saying. The fifth chapter is third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Not very easy to understand. It's, it's a little deeper also. Anyone has any question? Yeah.
No, when we say we have to, all the fruits that we get, we have to try to engage in Krishna service. For example, if you have a farm, try to give as much as we can.
Yeah.
We can give as much as we can in Krishna service, but in realistically, it's very difficult to give. So ideally, it would be nice to have a guru and ask him how much we should
Correct.
contribute.
Yes.
But people who do not have a guru or do not feel like they are capable, or maybe still not there to take it in their whole, but even want to contribute. So what would be a good start? For example, if you are earning 100K, hopefully, how much, or me, what percentage or something is it to give, or
Yeah,
maybe
it
give a,
depends person to person, and one needs guidance of guru. And if one is not in a position that he has a guru, then he should first get guru. And he should tell, because it's not. There is no. mm, It's not like a set thing. Everyone okay. Everyone is this rule and regulation. It's not like that. It's very individual thing, isn't it? Because for a millionaire to give $50 versus a poor man to give $50, it's a big difference. So similarly, the guru can say how much you have to give, or sometimes, it's you can sometimes give the fruits. You can take the fruits, vegetable from your farm and directly give for bhoga for the temple, or you can sell it and give Lakshmi to the temple. Whatever, however it is engaged. But general principle is give till it hurts.
because
To give when it is not pinching, then it is not really giving. It's not really tapasya. As soon as it starts hurting, then
so the answer is 70,000
yeah.
20,000 for tax and then
Okay, so we will pause here. Thank you very much for your patient sitting. Hare Krishna. So we have this every Sunday, and most of you who have joined for the first time, we also have recorded some of the sessions, and it's on YouTube if you'd like to go through it. And otherwise, please be, if you attend every week, at least we'll get the hang of what we're teaching here. Otherwise, once in a while is like come for fifth chapter one class, then seventh chapter one class, and but something is better than nothing. Every Sunday evening this time. Thank you. Yes. Are you in the group? Welcome to Gita Life. Okay, so Arshab is there. You can just show, give the. Oh yeah, you can just scan this QR code. We'll take it to WhatsApp group and we give the link there. Okay. Hare Krishna online devotees. Thank you for your for joining. Okay. Hare Krishna. It was a really good session. Thank you. Hare Krishna.